Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's story is a really interesting one. It's about a boy who seemed lazy on the outside, but turned out to be pretty clever. And by the end of this story, we'll see how someone who doesn't like to work hard can actually learn to beat their laziness and surprise everyone. But that's not all. As we go through this story, we'll also pick up some new English words and see how they're used in real sentences. So you'll be learning and enjoying at the same time. Stick around till the end. It's going to be worth it. Alright, let's jump in. Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, there lived a boy named Ryan. He stayed with his parents in a small house near the edge of town. Now Ryan had a bit of a reputation. Everyone knew he was kind of lazy. Each day he was supposed to help his father in the rice fields. But his job was pretty simple. He just had to chase away the birds that tried to eat their crops. Most people would walk around with a stick or use a slingshot to scare the birds away. But not Ryan. He wasn't a fan of moving around too much. So instead of running around the field, he came up with a different idea. He placed tall wooden poles all over the field and tied ropes between them. When birds landed nearby, he'd pull on the ropes from where he was lying down. The movement would scare the birds, and Ryan didn't even have to get up. His father noticed this. He was a little worried and sometimes thought to himself, "If I ever get sick, how will Ryan manage everything?" But Ryan always got the job done, just in his own laid-back way. So his father didn't scold him. One summer, things took a tough turn. There was a dry season, and the weather was especially hot. Then Ryan's father fell seriously ill and couldn't work anymore. That meant Ryan had to take care of the entire rice field by himself. He tried, really. But he wasn't used to doing all the hard stuff alone. And with no rain and no proper watering, the crops began to wither. Slowly the field turned dry and lifeless. Ryan couldn't save them by himself. That night Ryan sat outside under the starry sky. He felt empty and defeated. He looked up and thought, why didn't I try harder before? Why didn't I learn to do more? Now my family's only hope is fading away. The next morning he heard a commotion in the village square. People were gathered, whispering and talking excitedly. Curious, Ryan walked over to see what was going on. A royal soldier was standing in the middle of the crowd, announcing a big event. The king was organizing a huge competition at the palace. Anyone from any village could join. The grand prize? A chest full of gold coins. Ryan's eyes lit up. This could save my family, he thought. Without thinking too much, he stepped forward and declared that he would enter the competition. The villagers laughed. "You? Join a royal competition?" They scoffed. "You can't even walk around a field without resting. How will you beat strong warriors from all over the kingdom?" But Ryan didn't care. He was determined. He had 3 days to get to the palace, and he left the very next morning. His parents weren't sure he would win, but deep down, they hoped the journey would teach him something, that maybe he'd grow out of his lazy ways. After traveling for 3 days, Ryan reached the palace. It was massive and grand, with people from all over the kingdom gathered outside. There were tall, muscular men, quick-looking athletes, and people who looked like they'd been training for months. Ryan felt nervous. How can I beat these people? He wondered. They're stronger and faster than me. Soon, the first round was announced. All the participants were taken to a huge lake. The task? Cross the lake. The first 3 to reach the other side would move on to the next round. The whistle blew. 3, 2, 1, go! Everyone leapt into the water and started swimming as fast as they could. Everyone except Ryan. He stood still, thinking, if I try to swim, I'll be left behind for sure. I'm not strong or fast, but this is a race to get across the lake, not just a swimming race. That's when an idea hit him. He ran into the nearby woods, looked around and gathered some broken branches and dry sticks. In a few minutes, he had built a small raft. He found a long piece of wood and used it like a paddle. While the others were already halfway through the lake, Ryan pushed his raft into the water and began paddling slowly. It wasn't fast, it wasn't flashy, but it was steady. As the swimmers grew tired and started slowing down, Ryan continued paddling, slow and steady. One by one, he passed a few of them. In the end, he finished third, just enough to qualify for the next round. The people watching was shocked. The lazy boy from the village made it through. Even the other competitors were surprised.